And are you refreshed?
Yes.
Good. Now what?
Oh, this is so fun. It's just been such a fun ride learning how to do this and really expanding it. And I find myself waking up in the morning and really relaxed and soothed, and then getting excited and having the bubbles. And what I find that's so interesting is sometimes I'm holding back from really enjoying even more. And I find that it's, I'll get in alignment and I'll see something, and it's nothing, nobody's holding me back but me. And
it's always true, isn't it?
That's what I find so amazing. And
it's always like, true. No matter what's going on, it's always you.
Yeah. And I'm finding, with my dog, it's just wonderful because he's always chasing squirrels and he's chasing balls and he's got this wonderful purpose. And I think one of the things that's always interesting for me is to focus on what the purpose is, or what's joy.
The purpose is to chase the ball.
Ranger has it right, then.
The purpose is to enjoy the moment. Mm-hmm. Because what goes wrong for so many is that in their wishing or yearning or longing for something more, they hold themselves in a frequently that doesn't allow it to unfold.
Yeah, exactly.
And we've tried to find different ways to say it, but it's the journey, not the destination. Yeah. Your life is made up of just a steady series of these moments. In other words, it's just this moment and 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 this moment. There's never another moment. It's just this moment and this moment and this moment. So
there's really nowhere to go to, really. You're just
to this moment and this moment. And so
you got to get an eraser. There's something in here that's kind of.
But doesn't it make sense to you that as you more and more practice savoring this moment and this moment, and you get good at the momentum picking up in this moment and this moment, doesn't it follow that you get better and better at savoring and devouring and extracting from each moment the most that being aware of? It's like the word realization fits in here nicely, because as you practice it and are more and more in alignment, you don the perspective of source that has a larger capacity to enjoy this moment. We have not said that before. That is the thing to understand about this. You come out of the fog and into clarity, where you realize more of the perfection that's going on in this moment. And so
I love that.
You now have more sensitivity to the converging of more of the wonderful dynamics of the moment.
Yeah. It's amazing. And this practice of getting up in the morning, and I've really been doing it for probably 60 days. And it is so easy that it's almost, it feels like, it's like breathing. It's so natural now. And it did take a little bit, but it's still, once in a while, I will have to take a nap in the afternoon because I almost get overwhelmed with all this wonderful stuff happening. It's happening fast.
Well, once you reach this place where you are sure, and you are, that you've got it, and that it's in all likelihood you will maintain it, now you can begin increasing your focus into more and more specifics, which will increase the momentum into more and more dynamics. And the key is to be up to speed with the dynamics. In other words,
that's what I'm asking.
Humans sort of go from overwhelmment to boredom. In other words, you get it revved up until you get too many moving parts, and then you sort of collapse from it until you're so bored you can't stand it, and then you get it revved up. And there's something in between there that can be a very comfortable pace, and each of you have to find it.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier about finding, incentive isn't the right word, desire is a better word, desire to find that alignment and hold it. And we explained that for Esther, the impetus of it was that there were thoughts that were so uncomfortable that she became determined to train herself into more control of what she was thinking about. And it's sort of like if you're walking along a path, and you don't have to be very focused because it's just a path, And you might step off of it into the bushes a little bit, or maybe even get your feet wet a little bit. But being out of focus isn't such a big deal. But if that path is up on the ridge of a mountain and there's a big drop off there, so the stakes are higher, so that when you drop, it's going to be a more dramatic drop, then you pay more attention. And so what happens with sometimes there's a complacency. In other words, you don't really have to focus because the stakes aren't that high, so why bother? We want to evoke from you. We want to instill in you. We want to influence. We want to focus upon something so powerfully here that while you're finding resonance with it, that it moves you into a new determination or a new decision. And that is, we want you to not control your thoughts because not controlling them is so uncomfortable. We want you to want to control your thoughts because controlling them is so wonderful. We want you to be reaching for the clarity, but it isn't until you find some of it that you really understand that is something that you don't want to ever step back from.
I've reached some places where that clarity is like, to me, clarity is almost kindness. It feels like the kindest thing I can do for myself. That, you know, when I get clear on what I want, like when I play tennis, it's interesting. What I really want to do is play tennis. I don't really want to win or lose. I just want to keep the ball going. And it's so interesting to me when I get clear on just that, when I go to play tennis, what amazing things happen on the court. It doesn't even matter what the other people are doing or whatever is going on. I just really enjoy the play.
It's also nice, and something you said early on in this conversation speaks to this, that the comfort in getting this, in understanding how the laws of the universe work and getting your own skills at applying them deliberately in place, is that now there are no mysteries in life. There is nothing that is confusing or nothing that you don't understand. Whether you're looking at your life or someone else's, you get why things are happening in the way that they're happening. So the confusion goes away, and that's that clarity.
Yeah. That's great.
So now, were you going somewhere, or you want us to drag you kicking and screaming?
I'll go kicking and screaming. I'm used to that.
Because we can feel that you're ready. This is a good place to begin this discussion. So let's say that you have been, as you have, in practiced awareness of this high-flying disc, and you've got it down really well. And now you are pleased that law of attraction is bringing results and the momentum is picking up, but
you're feeling really, really good.
But you've decided to focus on something specific with the intention of getting the momentum going faster. So we want to just ask all of you, which feels better to you, happiness or sadness? We know it's going to be stupid for a while, but play with us. Happiness or sadness?
Happiness.
Which feels better, clarity or confusion?
Clarity.
Which feels better, contentment or exhilaration?
Exhilaration. Oh.
Because there's more momentum in exhilaration.
See.
Which feels better, contentment or fun?
Fun.
Because there's more momentum in fun. And so as you recognize that you're there and you're stable in that vibration, now it is time to focus with more. Which feels better to you? Telling a joke to yourself and having a good laugh, or sharing it with friends?
Sharing it with friends.
So which feels better? Singular creation or conscious deliberate co-creation?
Conscious deliberate co-creation.
So what we've been talking about here, of course, you're never singular in your creation.
Right.
But because even in finding this high-flying disc, you are finding alignment with source. So which feels better? Alignment with source on the high-flying disc, or alignment with a group of people not on the high-flying disc?
Source.
Which feels better? Alignment with source on the high-flying disc, just you, or alignment with source on the high-flying disc and a whole group of others also on the high-flying disc?
Bring it on. Yeah. That's exactly it.
So you just have to figure out when you want to turn on the juice. So the first order of business is getting on there, and the next order of business is stabilizing there until you're confident that you're there. The next order of business is focusing more and becoming more specific. And the next order of business is doing some masterminding with others who are also there for the purpose of taking thoughts into places. So is it logical that one who's aligned with Source would attract more than one who's not aligned with Source, would have more power?
Yeah.
Because there is more momentum already in Source. But is it logical that one who's in alignment with Source, who's in combination with others who are in alignment with Source, can you feel the power in that?
Yes.
And can you feel your desire to sort of goose that up? Now, in doing that, you make the stakes higher. Because the faster the momentum, the higher the stakes. Now, that's not the perfect word, but it's the best word that Esther can find, meaning what we mean with that. In other words, the more risk factor, really, and we're not really talking about any great risk factor other than the risk of falling off the cliff. We mean the disc. The risk of falling off the disc, off the disc. And the more you care about being on it, then the greater that risk feels, and the more logical it is that you will focus. So now we want to soften that determination by bringing that ease factor back into it that you were talking about. In other words, you want to be ready, you want to be sure that you're there before you begin doing that, but when you begin doing that, you're going to feel another level of clarity come. Because isn't it logical to you that if one mind connected to Source is powerful, that two minds connected to Source is even more powerful? Now, you've heard us say, we've said it often, you don't need another person to co-create with in order to be powerful. You have all the power you need in your own alignment with others. And the reason that we've sort of been coaching you toward finding your alignment and doing it on your own a little bit is because there is, for most people, a bigger risk factor in hooking up with somebody else, because you can control your position on the disc, but you can't control anybody else's.
Right.
So when you decide that you're going to begin playing with others, you want to be sure that it is someone who is consistently there, that is as determined as you are to meet you there.
Yeah.
But we're encouraging that. We think it's a wonderful
it would be
thing.
a lot of fun
To get together with others and to think about the things that matter to you, and to keep it on as general a basis as you can until you really get the momentum going, and then off you go into changing the world into whatever vision of it you would like it to be.
Wonderful.
There are no limitations.
Thank you.
Something more?
No, that's
Really
exactly
good.
it. Thank you.
Really good. Now we're off and running in a whole new direction. Now, you are the one. You like thinking? You like creating? You like alignment? You like resonance? You like power? You like motion? You like momentum? You like fast cars? Big engines? Going and doing and being?